Welcome to the butt end of November. That's right, we're moving on up into the final month, which is December. But not just yet. We have one more set of stories. Brian Von VA presenting, as per usual, what are the most random items your character has found in a game that became inside jokes or signature items. Make sure to leave a comment down below talking about an item that you found out of complete random left field that actually became an inside joke or a really cool item just for you. There's one that comes to my mind immediately. The sandal. Minor spoilers for Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Spoiler alert. Wah, 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 wah. Spoiler alert. We're on the dungeon level where Madgoth's castle resides. Madgoth's castle is, well, basically a D&D house of horrors. All kinds of illusory bullshit going on, and if you manage to find Madgoth's helm, you get the lovely blessing of being invulnerable to all damage while within the castle. At the cost of seeing visions of the deaths of every wizard he killed in his castle. That's always fun. One room in the castle has a bunch of random junk in it, and you can search through it as much as you'd like to find things. Our party spent a while searching the room, where they found a teddy bear that made a rattling sound when picked up. We decided to cut it open and see what was inside, and it screamed in pain and bled all over the place, only to reconstitute itself when we weren't looking and show no signs of damage. Ooh, I kind of want that teddy bear. Then we found that it, and all the other teddy bears we found locked in a chest hidden in the room might actually be magical prisons for the souls of people that Madgoth murdered. Ooh. So we cast Dispel Magic on them. We're hopeful that freed the souls, because the teddy bears stopped rattling after we did that. During this whole ordeal, my character, Torxina, found a wagon wheel, an ebony painted chair missing one armrest, and a sandal. She looked up after finding the sandal and went, "Why do I keep finding all the useless things?" Then the ranger, who's kind of become her boyfriend at this point, said something to the effect of, "Let me stab all the teddy bears and make sure they're actually dead now." Without hesitation, Torxina channeled the ways of the chanclas throwing Hispanic mother, instinctively raising the sandal and throwing it at him. After which, she retrieved the sandal and stuck it in her belt for quick access. So now it's canon that she has a sandal explicitly for smacking her boyfriend. I mean, we should all have a sandal for wait a minute. No. I was struggling to find an idea for a significant item the party found in a drawer to convey the idea that nothing special was there. For some reason, I decided on 14 small glass orbs, roughly the size of marbles. Now, whenever the players are strategizing, they'll try to find a way to use the orbs to solve the problem, but they never do. The 330-gallon sponge. A sponge that just holds a lot of liquid. Squeezing a full sponge will cause a lot of damage. It's been showing up at some point in every game my DM makes, and right now my rogue is holding a poisonous swamp he uses to poison his daggers. Kinda reminds me of the Vince from ShamWow. "Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow. You'll be saying wow every time you use this towel." A magical toaster. Magically enchanted to cast heat metal on its internal prongs to heat up food once per day. This toaster then proceeded to corrupt the party like the Ring of Sauron, leading to the paladin to plan out horrific torture, with the toaster resulting in the rogue taking it. The rogue then proceeded to lose his full composure, nearly abandoning his story arc and his personal closure due to being sick and tired of the huge secrecy we found in this town, which then led to the toaster falling into the sorcerer's hands, who was a pacifist with the highest body count and most brutal kills, who proceeded to beam said toaster in the head of the mayor, who, it turns out, was a mafia leader disguised as the mayor. The frog whistle is a staple in my games. You can blow it 3 times a day to summon 2d6 plus 5 frogs. What the players don't know is that if you blow it twice, the frogs you summoned will explode horribly. This has led 2 groups of mine to become either overjoyed or horrified upon figuring out this hidden mechanic. I mean, frog hand grenades, anyone? As a reward for the first quest, the DM gave us a goblet that turned any liquid inside of it into the best wine you could ever taste. And We named it the Goblet of Jesuscraft and proceeded to use it as often as possible, whether it's celebrating, survival, or getting gold out of random merchants. My players were going to fight a legendary succubus. Ooh, why fight that? Who was known for mutilating the genitals of male elves. I mean, a dwarf would be happy with that. So, while they were shopping, they asked for a Kama Sutra book because they reasoned that they needed to know how the succubus worked in order to defeat it. I gave them a Kama Sutra for Beginners book with pages that could be used to clean up after you do. See the chamois. They showed it to multiple NPCs who were very uncomfortable before I made it into a magic item that can hold 1 liter of liquid in every page. They used it to hold several pages of mojitos and 1 page of puke. Rainbow rocks. If you touch one of them, your gender swaps for some random amount of time. Sold by a really weird wizard at the beach. DM listing off items found in a cult's ritual room. A goblin hand with a rope tied around the wrist. I already have a grappling hook, so I don't need that. I don't think you can use a goblin hand on a rope as a grappling hook. Yep, that's canon now. You can use it as a grappling hook. Oh, cool. I kind of want it now. I'll take the goblin hook. Eggs. Not even special eggs, just regular chicken eggs. My elf ranger used them to make what were essentially handheld pepper spray grenades by hollowing them out and packing them with the most offensive spices she could find and sealing them back up. One of the many tools my DM allowed me to create if I put work into it, and surprisingly effective against cultist followers who try to attack you in groups. Also, this was something I believe they did, was it in Japan or China, where ninjas would actually hollow out the eggs and then stuff them with glass. So yeah, glass and I think red peppers or hot pepper flakes, something like that. It was designed to be a primitive version of mace. As the GM of our main game was cancelled due to not enough members. So with 3 party members out of the 6, there was a spontaneous one-shot within the game. The Tengu Witch, half-elf inquisitor, and a rogue catfolk. They go on this crazy adventure that goes from finding the author of 50 Shades of Cat in this catfolk village to following endless clues to discover the legendary magical plant wrap. A burrito, dun 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 dun. Their adventure leads them out of town in the middle of the desert where they fight a sandworm and discover the plant wrap inside the giant beast. The magical property of this item is that it restores you 1 HP per day, but does not satiate hunger. Now, what makes it great is that it tastes exactly like the food that you want most at that time, and the plant wrap is endless. No matter how many times you bite it, it will always be whole. Funny twist, though, is that the party uses it as a friendly greeter. It's actually an ancient torture device used by a long-fallen empire. Hungry prisoners would eat the plant wrap and taste what they want the most, yet remain hungry. A devastating psychological warfare item now used as a friendly peace offering. Fun note, in a prequel campaign before the Empire fell, the party was subjugated to this torture. So, if by some chance the 2 parties ever meet, one party's peace offering will be met with a surprisingly negative reaction. Also, that is a hell of a way to torture somebody. It was a slightly magical cylinder that's skinny in the middle with a string wrapped around the skinny part. We found this at the entrance to the gates of the abyss after my patron, Demon of the Void, caused a hole in the ground directly to it. We picked it up and thought it was relevant to the gates, which led to a maze that prevented any of the demons to exit the abyss. So, me, a multi-class demon with the power of spirits, and the bard, a fellow demon with musical powers, went into the maze and searched for literal out-of-game hours for something that this item was used for in the maze. We went through the whole thing without ever using it. So it became our mission to figure out what this magical item was used for, even if it meant death. We went through hell, space, literal time, and medieval time Virginia waiting for this item to be used, and it eventually became the Lucifer's object of mystery. 6 months later in the actual world time, something finally clicked. We were getting ready for the big bad evil guy when I finally asked the DM, "Is this a frickin' yo-yo?" "Yeah, it was a frickin' yo-yo." He said the magic we detected in it was that it always came back up when rolling it down. It took us an actual half a year to figure out this random yo-yo we found at the gates of hell was just a toy that the King of Hell got bored of. Well, anywho, that's how this normal toy became the Lucifer's object of mystery. Edit. We have now taken it upon ourselves to rid the world of yo-yos so that this one would be the only one in existence, and have renamed it the Toy of the Devil's Middle Finger. One of the first sessions in the campaign I'm in, we entered a tavern, which was a battle map the DM found on the internet. Now, on the outside of the tavern, there was a trumpet laying on a chair, which the DM gave no thought about when he got the map. That is until I decided that this trumpet will accompany us on our travel. And since then, we've been using it as a drinking horn. Drink up. My paladin had a no stabbing at the dinner table rule. So the party bought, Red stole, a dinner table to try to stop my paladin from stabbing monsters or various objects. You guys are cruel. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, back at it again, checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, leave a comment down below. The comment should be about, well, anything. I want to know about your day. I want to know how your November has been, how Thanksgiving's been for all of you out there, even those of you who don't celebrate it, of course, from other countries, or in the United States who just choose not to celebrate it. That said, also tell us a little bit about the little random items that you found in-game that became either really cute joke items or very, really interesting signature items. I like to read about them, so you never know. We might put it in a video. You never know. And, of course, if you want to come say hi to me, Brian Von VA, you can do so in the description below. There's a link, brianvonva.com. The very bottom of that, all my socials. I stream a lot on Twitch, and I'd like to get to 1,000 followers before the year's end. I've been a little bit lax on Twitch lately, though, because I've been working my booty off. That said, I want to talk about one thing that's positive in my opinion, working your booty off. Yeah, you might have to put some leisurely things aside, like, you know, going out with your friends or playing games all night. But with a little bit of luck, and a little bit of ingenuity, and a little bit of love, well, mostly self-love, you'll be alright. You just gotta figure out the schedule, the timing, all of it. It may seem daunting at first to some of you, but honestly, just take your time and let the world flow. Think of life like a river. And everyone said this for hundreds and thousands of years. Water flows one direction, downhill. It flows straight down a hill. Sometimes not exactly straight, sometimes it curves off, sometimes it slams into a boulder and pushes things out of the way, but in general, it flows down. And like life, no matter what blocks the river, it will find a way to go. So like a river, just keep on going downhill, pushing everything out of your way gently, or sometimes if you need to with a little bit of force, and you'll get to the destination you want to go to. Believe in yourself. I love you all. Be safe, be happy. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.